Okay, just making sure you guys can see me. Making sure you guys can see me here and everything. As you can probably see, I'm just trying to make sure everything is going well here. Hopefully you guys can see me. Hopefully you can hear me. And I'm going to double check on that right now. And yeah, almost had an issue with this. I told you last night, I linked this on Twitter. I told you I was going to be doing a live stream today. I was thinking about it. Basically, just to get myself back in those. I told you I was going to try to do something as well during this day, today I should say, to kind of get things back into the forefront. As we can, I'm just checking something here, but yeah, I wanted to get something back into the forefront, if you will. But yeah, sure, all right, everything is there. All right, making sure. I'm gonna go over to my TV now. I'm gonna check here too. Hold on for a sec. Hold on. See if it'll pop up. There it is. See? Okay, it is. It's on there. And I'm listening. I have this on my Bose Smart Soundbar 600, which with live streams puts the live streams, via YouTube, into Dolby Digital 2.0, I guess, or something, something like that. I don't really know, and I do apologize for any lag you might experience right now. Apparently, there is some lag going on, so I do apologize for that. If you're getting any lag as we speak, my computer is loading and everything, and yeah, I'll tell you, what a morning, if you will, what a morning to go through with this computer, this laptop, if you will, and thank the Lord. I prayed, asked him to get this working well, and he did. So thank God that's happening. I might have to do an update because I've been holding off on the Windows monthly update for a while, and I guess that finally just came back to bite me, because it's like, basically, when you pause it, you think it's not going to cause any issue, but eventually it does. And as I've said before, outlets like Windows and Apple and Mac, and well, Mac is Apple, I should say, but outlets like Microsoft, Apple, Linux, Dell. Well, Dell is, I don't know if Dell, is just a computer brand or it's got software too, but anyway, all those that supply software for computers and laptops, to me, they should just come out and say, look, we have this option for you to pause updates on, but we would recommend you don't. And if that's the case, then, why even put it? If I'm any of these companies, if I'm Microsoft, if I'm Linux, if I'm Apple, in one of my future major updates, I would just basically say, you know what, we're getting rid of the pause option, so that way people have to do the pause option. Well, not pause option, but they have to do updates, and everything. So, that's what I would do if I was them. And again, I do apologize for any lag you might be getting. It is early. It's 8:07 in the morning Pacific time. And from what I've read online, the internet is kind of slow in the morning because there's not much traffic going through. I don't know how that would be, a reasoning to cause any slowdown and stuff like that. But but anyway, I hope you all had a good New Year. I know I did a countdown to New Year live stream. Didn't do too much in that. Just kind of showed myself and showed what I was wearing, which I have actually right here. I actually have it right here. The glasses and the hat, if you will, and the crown. And my mom, my family, I should say, got this. Had me wear the crown a little bit because another family member was wearing the hat and everything. So yeah, they they had me wear the crown because they didn't have anything else for me to wear. Also, the other thing that I've done, basically, is I've kind of switched up my bed a little bit. Let me take a picture for a second. You know, of what it looks like right now. Well, at least do a video, that way you guys could see it. I don't want a chance moving the camera here because it might freeze up and then I'll have to start all over again. But yeah, let me just do that right now. Okay. So let me bring this up real quickly. Let's see. Let me bring this up. Come on. Bring it up. There we go. Here we go. And by the way, super chats are open. I would highly appreciate if you guys put some super chats in there. $1, $3, whatever you want to do. $5 at most. If you're cool with that, it would help me out tremendously. Also, check out the Teespring store. Link is in the description at the bottom. Get merchandise there you can't get anywhere else. Also, click on the links where you can find my content elsewhere. As well as check me out at deviantart.com at BVW1979 and at rumble.com at BWRosas for content that you do see here, but you also don't see because of, reasons like copyright and stuff like that. So go over to rumble.com, BWRosas, check me out there as well. And again, check me out at all the other outlets that are linked here, including my podcast, which is BW Rosas' Discussions, which you can find on places like Spotify, iTunes, Pandora, Apple, like I said, iTunes, Pandora, Spotify, Audible, Amazon Music, you name it, you can find it on that outlet that you listen to your podcast on. But anyway, getting on to what I was going to show you. This is what I did recently with my room, or with my bed anyway. As you can see there's a little, if you could see it, there's a little bit of a difference in everything. And that difference is, and you can probably see it in the back of me. You can see it in the back of me here. That difference. The difference basically is the My Little Pony pillowcases that have pillows in them. They used to be like right here. They used to be like side by side. But what would happen at times is, even though I would balance them, I would put some effort into it and I would balance them. What would happen is sometimes they would also start to lean backwards. So I'd have to, like I say, balance them and everything, or they would lean forward. And then what I would do is I would take my pony plushes, the ones that I have of Celestia, Luna, the ones from Olay Factory, or, well, that's what they're called. They're called Olay Factory, if you will. Not the makeup, but, it's OLY Factory. And I would take them and I would put the pony figures, or the pony plushes, up next to the pony pillows, if you will. And then I would take the other plushes I have of, like, Sonic, Amy, Sally, and all them, and I would lean them up on my pillow, on my main pillows that I lay my head on. And basically, that's how I would, go to bed. Oh, not go to bed, but that's how I would make up my bed after I'd wake up. Well, I decided, for the new year, I wanted to try something else out to see if maybe it would help. And it kind of does. It is a little different at times. Like, sometimes it's not always the same kind of pattern like you saw in the video. It's a little different. Sometimes there'll be different rows of characters. But mostly what I try to do is I try to get my Minnie Mouse 100-year anniversary plush up on top, along with my Blaze one, my Lola one, my Sally one, my Gadget one, and my Khalees one. I try to get them on top of the main pillow that I lay my head on. And then beneath that, in front of the pony pillows, I have the ponies like I would normally if they were on this side, but then I have the other places as well. And what I've noticed is it gives me a little bit more room. I mean, yes, I have some clothes right here, right now, like my pants I'm gonna wear, and my other pants I gotta put away, and then a pajama set right there that I gotta store away as well, that I got for Christmas. But what makes this good for me is I can actually reach over, and I could grab now, as you could see, because you couldn't see them when the pony pillows were in front of it. I can grab now my any kind of books I want to read, any of the MLP IDW books and stuff like that. So it gives me that opportunity to do that. It gives me that opportunity to, go out and do that. So I'm kind of happy I'm able to do that. As I double check something here for a second, guys. Hold on. Yeah. So I'm just making sure. Yeah, my connection's excellent now according to YouTube. I just wanted to make sure of that. But like I said, what makes it a lot easier for me is I can reach over there and I can grab, I can grab a book if I want to, or reach down maybe and grab a movie if I want to, or maybe even grab my crossover of MLP and Transformers, the My Little Prime figure right there without going over the MLP pillows. So I made it a lot easier for me. But yeah, basically that's one of the newest things I did this year. And if you hear anything in the background, that's my fridge, my mini fridge, which I got for Christmas. It's cooling right now. As a matter of fact, let me double check that. Oh yeah, it's getting back to its coolness. It's getting back its coolness and everything. What I had to do was I had to turn it off. It has a switch in the back so that you could turn it off and everything. And the reason I had to do that is this morning I was, trying to get to sleep and everything. I was up and I was on and off basically. You know how you try to sleep but you can't, and then you have to get something to eat and stuff like that. So I was on and off this morning. And what happened is, you know how your computer or your laptop, sometimes if you leave it on, it'll go into a blank screen, right? The screen will go off, like you turn off a TV, it'll go off, and it'll just go into what is known as standby mode. It's not in sleep mode or anything like that, it's in standby mode. Well, what happened is sometimes when it, has a notification come up, like either through Facebook or YouTube, or it's just, like doing a minor update, or maybe a virus scan or whatever, the screen will turn back on briefly, if it's, doing that, if it's in the process of doing that. Well, what happened this morning is, again, I'm on and off, trying to rest. And what happened this morning is the screen comes on, but there's nothing there. It's all blank. And I'm thinking, oh, it's doing an update now. It's doing the update, even though I paused the update for another week. But that wasn't the case, because when I moved the mouse, there was no arrow on the screen, nothing coming up. And then that's when I kind of realized, oh, it crashed. It basically crashed. Basically what happened is multiple things were trying to convene. Multiple programs were trying to convene, and I'm thinking it caused it to crash. And this is not the first time it's happened. We have another laptop, that we use, or that my family uses for school and other things as well. We have that laptop in the kitchen, and that's happened to them as well. Like they have it on sleep mode right now. Like they kind of have it. Well, they kind of have it on sleep mode. What they do is they take this, they kind of just bring the top down, fold it down, and kind of put it in standby mode. Well, sometimes when they would flip it back on and everything, or take it off sleep mode, it would do exactly what my computer did earlier this morning. It will have a blank screen. So we would have to hard reset, press the power button, do a hard reset, and wait a few minutes, and then press the power button again, and let it just do its thing. And sometimes it'll take a while, sometimes it won't. But normally you got to give it time. With mine, it took a little longer because I think I have, I have stuff on here. I have my external hard drive connected. I have my mouse connected, wireless mouse connected, and my keyboard. So I do have stuff on there, and I do have files. And I have files on the external hard drive. I have files on the internal hard drive. So I have a lot going on here. But I still have enough gigabytes in the computer to where it runs properly. I have over like 200. I have like 2.50 or 2.60 gigabytes left on the computer on the internal hard drive, on the main hard drive. So what happened, basically though, like I said, is it pops up, and then I noticed, like I said, it's just a blank screen, and that's when I realized after nothing came up that it had crashed. That basically some programs had, I guess, convened, tried to, do their thing at the same time, and it just caused it to go like, like basically it's trying to turn on, like, for example, let me get some coffee here for a moment here. Hold on, guys. Drink some coffee there. But what I'm trying to say is what it would do, or what I think happened. What I think happened is, there was several programs trying to do the thing at the same time, and what occurred is they ended up, causing the computer to basically crash. I know I said that earlier, but basically it caused it to have a hiccup. Essentially, it caused it to have a hiccup to where, it's like basically when you try running to, how do I put this? It's like when you're cooking on a stove and you try running that stove and you have two separate items on there at the same time, right? You have two separate pans on there with two separate things in the pans, right? And now normally sometimes that will work. If you know what you're doing, it should work. But sometimes you could have a mess. You could have, a collision of disastrous proportions. And I think that's what happened here. But also I think what happened, let's say you're using a pan on your stove to mix stuff together, and instead of letting like one ingredient simmer, before adding the next, you decide, or somebody else decides, hey, I'm going to add this to it and see what happens. And basically what happens when that occurs is it causes, a bad mixture. It causes a bad connection, if you will. It causes a bad connection. And that's essentially what happened here, I think, with my computer. Like, basically both tried to do their own thing at the same time, but they got mixed together and it caused it to crash. That's basically what happened. It caused it to crash, because what my computer does at night, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that, if they leave the computer on or whatever, sleep or standby, whatever the case may be, I know that I'm not the only one that does this, that when my computer is off, or not off, but when it's on standby, basically it will load. It will load during the night. It will either load during a virus protection update, or either a virus scan, or what I need to do with it, a Windows update. It'll do one of those things, or I might do a minor update in the background. And I'm thinking what happened is it tried to do one of those things, not the Windows update, but it tried to do maybe a minor update in the background, as well as at the same time it tried to do a virus protection update, and they just collided, and it just, basically, caused friction, if you know what I mean. Basically, it caused from what I looked up online, it caused the RAM, the driver, if you will, to kind of cease, not be totaled or anything, just just come to a standstill, if you know what I mean. It's kind of like basically, when you're working on your car and you're thinking, oh, I can do this, and it's a bad connection, or if your car is one of those newer computerized cars, gas or electric, if it's one of those new computerized cars, it's like basically programming the computer in your car, to do two things at the same time, that would take up a lot of, I guess you could say, energy, or a lot of RAM or gigabytes or whatever the case may be. And people recommend, oh, do this one separate over this one, or do this one separate and then do this other one afterwards. And instead, you want to do it all at once. And what happens when you do it all at once? It causes friction. And I think that's kind of basically what happened here with my computer earlier this morning. Now, is it the first time something like this has happened? No. No, it's not. I mean, there have been times I've actually gotten messages on my computer, same with my family on the other laptop in the kitchen, where they would say, "Hey, connection would, there was a driver malfunction and all that. Let us do a self repair." And when it does a self repair, it's usually good to go after that. The last time I had to, I think, the last time I had to press the power button on the computer to turn it off, do a hard reset and everything, was basically when it decided, and this is before I got the new cable, the new internet cable, which is supposed to be faster, and it has proven that. When I had the blue one, in fact, let me show you what I'm talking about, if I have it here. Here it is. When I had this one connected to when I had this one basically connected to the computer, that's the last time, as far as I know, that I had to basically press the power button on the computer and do a hard reset on it, because what it would do is essentially when it would start loading throughout the day, like if you don't use your computer for a little bit and it goes into and the screen goes off, goes into standby mode, or if you are using it but the screen's still on, but then you kind of see it's kind of, like the LED screen, not LED screen, but the LED light, the load light, the LED load light is coming on, and you're hearing the computer going like, because it'll make a noise for some reason, I don't know why. Basically, it's loading something, right? Well, sometimes the loads are not that bad. You can still use your computer. You can still go on the internet and browse if you have to. It might not be, the way you want it, because it's either probably loading something like a minor update, or it's trying to do a virus protection update or whatever. Basically, you should have no problem. But there are times it will go a little further than that. Like it'll want to do a full update or a full scan or whatever for, viruses, or full virus protection update, whatever. And what will happen is when you try to use it, all of a sudden your computer will go and have the not responding deal on the browser. Whether that's Opera, Firefox, or Google, it'll have, that it'll come up and, instead of letting you move to where you want to go, it'll go and say not responding, because it's loading. It's loading whatever it has to load at that time. And basically what happened when I had this connected to it, the point I'm getting at, when I had this connected to it, one of those times I had to do the hard reset, because the loading was, the browser was not responding for over an hour. It was like an hour. It's like, what's going on here? And then that's when I realized, oh, the thing is stuck. It's very slow. It's stuck. So I ended up getting the new Ethernet cable. In fact, that bag that you saw, let me show you it again here. This bag here is the bag where the cable came in. And this is the one I got, the Cat 8. The Cat 8, if you will. And it's supposed to be, a lot faster, and it has proven to be just that. It has proven to be a lot faster in its presentation. And the reason I say that is because there have been times where I've had the not responding happen, and yeah, it goes for like 30 minutes, 40 at most. But most times I could tell by hearing it, during its load, I can hear it getting ready to get back to normal. I can hear it getting ready to get back to normal, and it does. And it does it a lot quicker. In fact, when I had to reboot, when I restarted this and everything, I had to restart it, and it basically took about a little over 100 minutes to fully get to my screen with my stuff. It took about 100 minutes to get there, and then it took a little longer, or it took a bit longer to do more. But doing it around 100 minutes with the new cable I have, if I was to compare the two, I would say that blue one would have had me waiting maybe until about almost 6:30 this morning, if not 7. Basically an hour and a half, 2 hours earlier, it would have had me waiting if I still had the blue cable connected. But this one, I think, kind of helps out to where it's like, yeah, it gets the job done quicker. Not as quick, especially if the internet's not so fast at certain times in the morning and at night, or the day. But this did, I think, kind of prevent it from getting a little stallish for longer than it should have. But yeah, I was able to. But yeah, basically, like I was saying, that was the last time I had to do like a hard reset on this computer with a situation like that, because basically, it got stuck on the not responding deal for over an hour, and that's not good. And usually I think these are just signs that the computer is putting out there saying, look, do the update and I'll leave you alone. And like I said earlier, if they want people to do these updates, if Microsoft, Apple, Linux, if they all want people to do the updates, then just take the pause option out. Don't keep the pause option there for people to essentially be tempted with to use. Take it out. That way they have to do the update. That way they have to, just tolerate, okay, I gotta wait maybe another 20 minutes while my computer does this stuff, or another 30, 40 minutes while my computer does this stuff, and then I can use it again. They should just do that. They should just do that. But they don't. They don't do it. And that's what kind of, I think, gets on people's nerves a little bit. And I think that's what kind of gets on people's nerves a little bit. It's like, if you're going to do, if you want people to do, the update, then just take the option out. Because if you have it there, people are going to be tempted to, keep it, to utilize it when they want to. They're going to want to use it when they want to. But anyway, that's what happened this morning. And thank the Lord. And again, I prayed, asking him to make this work well, and he has. And if I have to do the update later today or this week, I'm going to do it. Because I think this is like the first time it's happened. This has happened in like a long time. In a long time, like several months, I believe. As a matter of fact, let me check my phone. Take my Amazon app on them. It'll show me when I got the Ethernet cable, because I got it through Amazon. It'll show me when I last got it, or when I got it, how long it's been. Because I know I must have got this cable like before I started my seasonal job. I know that had to be the case. I know that. But we'll see. We'll see here if it pops up. But yeah, that was kind of like, that's kind of stressful for anybody, because again, think about it. You're planning to do something like me. I was planning to do this live stream. Thank the Lord I was able to, do it. But I was planning to, do this live stream, and then all of a sudden, I'm put in a situation where I can't do it. I can't do it because of the fact that, well, basically, my computer decides, it's going to have a field day. It's going to have, a field day with me. It's going to have a field day. It's basically going to have a trip, if you will. It's going to have a trip. It's going to do a hiccup, and all that. It's going to go through all that. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Okay, so September 4th. Yep, right before I had to go back to the seasonal job I had the year before. September 4th, so the beginning of September. So it's been about what? That was the 9th month. So let's see, September, October, November, December, January, 5 months. It's been 5 months since that happened. So it's not the first time, and nor do I think it's going to be the last. But yeah, that was just nuts. That was just nuts to see that happen. Because think about it. Think about this. You're asleep. Your computer's running. Your laptop's running. It's going to probably have the screen turned on because it's doing virus protection updates or virus scans, or it's doing a notification for you and so on, or it's doing a Windows update and saying, hey, updates are ready for you to install, da da da. But instead of getting that and your main screen and all that, instead of getting that, you end up getting a blank, screen, a blank one. Like it was trying to pop up, but then all of a sudden it just got stuck because other things collided with what was being given to you. That to me is a pain. That to me would be a huge, huge pain, and it is. It is a huge, huge pain. There's no getting around that. There's no getting around that whatsoever. But yeah, that happened this morning, and again, I'm thinking, if you don't want people to pause updates, and your computer's going to fight you on it, your laptop's going to fight you on it because it's programmed to do the updates, then just take the pause option out. That's what I say. Just take the pause option out. And I know anybody watching this live right now or watching this post live would agree with that. If you don't want people to have the ability to pause an update, take it out. Take it out so they don't have that option. Because to me, it's a pain in the butt. It is a pain in the butt. If you're giving people the option to do it, and then all of a sudden that option's kind of taken away from you at certain times because your computer is just programmed to do it. It's like it's fighting against it. It's fighting against the pausing. It's like saying, I got to do my update. I got to do it. And it's like, okay, we'll let you do it. But please, be quick about it. That's all I say. That's all I say. But, yeah, that's what happened, like I said, this morning. And I'm just glad that, God took care of it. I prayed, a lot to basically get this to work again. And I always do when stuff like this happens because, I don't want to have to, deal with having to shell out money to get it repaired or shell out money to get a new one. This one's been lasting me for it's going to be like 9 years, I think, this year. It's going to be 9 years that I've had this. So that's pretty cool. And it's been working very well for me since then. It's been working very well for me since then, so it's pretty cool. The only bad thing about it, I think, is they said this year or next year, one of the two, is going to be the last year or the last years that you're going to get any updates for Windows 10. Now, again, I don't know if it is. I think it is this year. I think they said it's October of this year will be the last time you will ever get Windows 10 updates. And if that's the case, then that's pretty much a warning sign of saying, hey, you could still use the computer, but you're going to have to clean it out if you want to update to 11, or you're just going to have to get a new one. And I think a lot of people are looking into that still have a computer like this that have Windows 10. But, that's then, this is now. That's then, this is now. And again, like I said, I'm just glad to be, have it working, as regularly as it does. And even after this crash, and even after that previous crash or previous situation in September, and even prior to that, I would get the message of, hey, something's not connecting, and I'm sure even after this, I'm going, when the updates occur, when you do let the updates happen, they pretty much work out in the end. You just gotta basically let it do its thing all over again, like you have before. So it's just one of those situations you just got to deal with, and just go on from there. Anyway, with that said, like I mentioned, it was one heck of a way to spend the morning, if you will, when you're on and off sleeping, and all of a sudden you see that the thing you need to use the most, especially if it's to help with families, with family bills and stuff. You know, when you notice the one thing you utilize the most in those situations is acting up, then yeah, it can be stressful. It can keep you awake a little bit. So again, thank the Lord, it's working better now. It's working better. It's working better again. And well, if I have to do the update, I gotta do the update. There's not really much I can say about that. If I want to prevent anything else like this from happening again. You know. Anyway, though. Again, like I said earlier at the beginning, hope you all had a good new year. Hope you all were safe. We all know about what happened in New Orleans, and my prayers and condolences go out to those affected by that, and to those that were affected but are pulling through from what happened in Vegas as well, both in the same day. So yeah, what a not a good way to start out the new year. You know what I'm saying? Not a good way to start out the new year. But outside of that, yeah, you're probably asking yourself, you're probably wondering, you noticed that I was able to get some content up. I was able to get some content up over these past 2 weeks, as best I could. And that's and that's the whole situation here. When for those of you that have followed my channel for a long time, you know that I have to kind of adjust to. And again, I know, as I've mentioned on many occasions, I'm not the only one that believes this, but there are those out there that deal with a similar situation like I do. To when it comes to certain points in the year, seasonal wise, you have to adjust your schedule to work around that season and everything that comes up. So for me to be able to get some content out to you guys over the past 2 weeks was a miracle. I mean, yeah, I had missed about a day or two here and there because of, like I said, the seasonal situation that you guys know I get myself into, or that I'm put into, because of my living situation, my living arrangements, which I'm proud of, which I'm very proud of. But you kind of understand, that you can't always get content out the way you would want to, as much as you would like to. And that's, like I said, the same could be said for me. I couldn't do it the way I wanted to. I mean, the times I was able to get content out to you guys was the opportunities presented to me. And sometimes the opportunities presented to me were either getting up early or late at night. And that was it. So yeah, I just had to really work my way around the entire situation as best I could. But I got enough content out to you guys, I believe, to be satisfactory. But again, for those that have been following me for a long time, and I appreciate you guys doing so, I mean, I am going to be, believe it or not, this is 2005. I started this channel in June of 2008. I will be entering my 17th year with this channel. 17 years. That's unbelievable. And I have another channel that's been around for a little shorter than that. A little shorter than that here on YouTube. It's basically goes by a similar name as my podcasting does. So, if you want to check that out as well, it's there. But yeah, it's... but to have this for as long as I have, it's really amazing. And like I said, 17 years. It's going to be this June, and then 18 next year, and then 19 in 2027, and then 20 years in 2028. It's going to be unbelievable if I make it to that time, because the way the internet is and the way outlets like YouTube and outlets like YouTube and Rumble and Daily Motion and VENMO are, you never know. You never know what's going to change for the good and what's going to change for the not so good. So, but yeah, to look back and realize that I'm going to be entering I am entering, but officially celebrating in the beginning of June, 17 years with this channel. It's unbelievable, and I really appreciate you guys and the support you have given me in those 17 years. This decade and a half of content that I've been able to provide to you guys throughout. So I thank you guys for that very much. And my podcast, which is B.W. Rosas' Discussions, and again, the links are in the description so you guys can check that out, is seemingly taking off as well. It's not exactly what it should be to get monetized, and you guys can help me out there if you want to. It would help me out tremendously in that department too. But a lot of podcasts I've been doing, some of them are audio versions of what you see here on YouTube or what you hear on YouTube. Sometimes sometimes they're the same videos that you see here on YouTube and everything. They've been getting some decent views. They have. And I really appreciate that. As a matter of fact, one of the videos one of the audios, I should say, that's getting, well, actually it's a video actually, but one of them that's getting a lot of views is my discussion on Yogi's First Christmas. And this is a classic audio that I did several years ago. I did it in 2 parts. And I decided to put those 2 parts together into one video. And and obviously here on YouTube, here on my channel, people seem to like it. But it seems that over on my podcast, my B.W. Rosas' Discussions, people are liking it just as much. They're liking it. I got about 9 views, 10 views on that. Maybe not much, but that's a lot. And then the one that's getting a lot more, and that's just recently. That's just in the past week. And then the other one the past week that's getting a lot is my discussion on Sonic 3, as well as the 75th issue of IDW Sonic. That's got about 11 to 12, listens, if you will. And then the one that's got the most, I think 319, is when I talk about the first trailer to Sonic 3, which came out a couple weeks ago. So I'm kind of satisfied with that. I'm kind of happy about that. But yeah, it's like I said, it's hard to believe that this is going to be 17 years doing this. And throughout that, I've gone through a lot. I mean, I was unemployed at the time I started the channel. I started working for Walmart. And then after that, I ended up working for, I think after a year, unemployed. I started working for Target. And then after that, went and did the job I did this year, the year prior, and then back to it this year. And who knows what's, around the corner this time. We'll have to see. But yeah, just unbelievable to know what I've gone through with this channel in 17 years, almost 20 years. 20 years in the next 3. That's unbelievable. That's unreal. And like I said, doing those jobs and then going back and forth and going to the places I've gone to, I've had this channel like Santa Cruz, Monterey, Disneyland, back and forth to Kansas to see family. It's hard to really fathom what I've been able to bring to you on this channel because of those kind of things as well. So I'm just, like I said, I'm just happy to be here to provide you guys with content as much as I can. And again, this is why when you see me try to provide as much content as I possibly can during certain seasonal breaks, like I tried to do over the past 2 weeks, these recent past 2 weeks, you can understand as to why, there's kind of like not a slowdown, but basically a bit of a, one a day or two a day, upload when it comes to the channel, if not one a day or two, one or two of every other day here on this channel, because of, like I said, those seasonal breaks and everything that occur. So that's kind of what happens, and I'm still very grateful for you guys tuning in and supporting me as much as you can. And like I said, I have a podcast which you can find at all your favorite podcast outlets: Spotify, iTunes, Pandora, Radio Public, you name it. You can find me on iHeartRadio. You could find me on those areas, on those outlets, and it'd be great if you could support me there as well. Help that grow, because you're able to not only get to hear and see my thoughts here on YouTube, but you could also hear and listen to them on your favorite podcast outlets as well. So yeah, just help me out there as much as you can. I would really, really appreciate it. Also, I am on Twitter. And I am on Blue Sky as well. So you can find me there. Like I said, I'm on Twitter and I'm on Blue Sky. You can find me there. Help me out there as well as much as you can. It'd be really, really appreciative if you can do that too. Support me there, follow me there. I'm also on DeviantArt.com, DeviantArt at BVW1979. The reason I don't link it here in the description is because, reasons. There might be stuff on there that YouTube be like, can't have that there. We're going to do this to you. We're going to give you this. We're going to give you a strike or, a warning and all that. And I don't need that. So I'm just telling you, if you want to look me up at DeviantArt.com, BVW1979, I am over there as well. I'm over there as well as I'm at inkbunny.net at BW Roses. You can check me there too. Inkbunny.net at BW Roses, and like I said, at DeviantArt.com at BVW1979. And the Teespring store is still open. I got some merchandise on there if you want to check that out. Get yourself something nice, as well as I'm also linking up with other outlets. I will be doing that later on. Linking up with some outlets so you guys can check out merchandise there in those areas if you want to look at them as well. So anyway, as a matter of fact, let me do that right now. Let me do that right now so you guys can look these up if you want to. Get a couple of items on there so you guys can check them out as well. Here we go. So yeah, there we go right there. So you guys could check those out if you want to as well. Got that going for you guys. But yeah, basically, I have those affiliations going now, so that helps out me in the long run if you want to click on something there for yourself. But anyway, yeah, it's just kind of one of those situations that, this morning when you look at the whole computer situation, it just, it kind of just blew my mind and everything about what was going on, because I was like, because I was surprised, but again, it's nothing, it's nothing that's not happened before. I'm just more used to it coming up with something on the screen saying this is what's coming up, like it's a notification of something from Facebook, or it's telling me, hey, this completed a virus scan and there was nothing found. I'm kind of surprised it went to the blank screen, but again, I had a feeling when it wouldn't pop up with any other screen, it's like, yeah, it crashed. It basically did a crash, and I don't know why would do that. I looked it up, like I said, and there was like I said, there was the reasons I mentioned. Some say it could have been overheating. That might have been it. I don't really know. I don't really know. But um, hopefully it won't do that again. But if it does, it does. What are you gonna do? My computer is one of those computers that does kind of do a self repair. Thank the Lord on that. So so hopefully it doesn't do it after a while. And if I have to do the update to prevent it, I will do the update to prevent it. Um, anyway, though, yeah, it was just like I say, these past 2 weeks were kind of interesting when it came to providing content for you guys. Like I said, did my best, as best I could. Of course, one of the last content I was able to upload for you guys yesterday, which was the last day of the seasonal break before things have kind of got back to normal now, was the whole questioning of what role will Amy Rose play in the fourth Sonic movie. And so far, that's getting a lot of traction. And another thing that's getting a lot of traction as well is my my audio on my audio video, if you will, my audio video, if you will, on lanolin. Yeah. My video on lanolin's getting a lot of traction as well, which is kind of a huge, huge help in its own right. As a matter of fact, let me check right now. Right now, as of 3 days, it's got 171 views, which is pretty good. And then for Amy, the one I did 10 hours ago, it's got like 58, so that's really nice as well. And then, what else do I got here? Okay, one that I did about a week ago on, Sally, will she be like TMNT's Mona Lisa? That's got, within the week, 113 views. So again, not too bad. And then the question of what will be the aftermath of, IDW Sonic 75 going forward, that's got 138. But Lanolin getting 171 in just 3 days, that's impressive as well, because, that's a good question to ask for a character like her, because, she's a very complex character. And all I did there, basically is kind of, talk about why her recent character story in the recent arc, if you will, that they did from 62 to 75, well, beginning with 62, going into 75, or really taking off as we headed into 75, as to say. Why her story as a character was very similar to Sally's story in Archie Sonic, because, in case people don't know, Sally's story in Archie Sonic, basically, post 130, if you will, was, kind of in a similar fashion to where the person that wrote her, or the people that wrote her in a way that people did not like. And it was thankfully thanks to Ian Flynn coming in as the head writer, where he was able to fix that and be like, no, that's not Sally, this is Sally. And he was able to rectify what the likes of Ken Penders and Carl Bowlers did, to Sally as a character. He was able to rectify that. And I think him and Ivan working on this story, and whoever else they worked with, they were able to take what he had to rectify there, take inspiration from that, write lanolin in a similar fashion, and then kind of have the rectification, or at least the first steps to the rectification, come to be in the 75th issue, where finally she's realizing, oh crap, Silver was right about Duo, and so was to an extent Whisper and even Tangle. Like, oh crap, I was wrong about this person. This person I was trying to give a chance to. This person I was trying to be friends with, was actually a spy, for Clutch. He was actually a spy for the enemy. So to me, Ian and Ivan and whoever else was working with them on the story, writing lanolin in that kind of similar scenario, I think was a great deal, because now you could start the road building for her rectification, her redemption, when she goes and apologizes to Silver, when she basically says, look, I just want to say I'm sorry, you were right, I didn't believe you because, Mimic did such a good job at, fooling us and everything, but, obviously he made one mistake, and that is he didn't turn off his walkie, and, we heard Clutch call him by his name and so on, so, so yeah, it was, so yeah, to me, that's the reason I did the video, the audio video, because I feel her story here is going to be very similar to Sally's story in the Archie Sonic. She's going to have to, build that road to redemption and make up for what she's done, and maybe even learn along the way, hey, I need to take my job seriously, but it doesn't mean I can't lighten up and maybe have a little fun here and there. And I think when she gets to that portion, thanks to the likes of Sonic and Tangle and even to an extent Whisper, I think she's going to realize, hey, I'm enjoying my job as a Neo Diamond Cutter a lot more than I did previously, because now I'm not just taking it seriously, but I'm also learning to have some fun with it. So yeah, I'm gonna be happy when that moment. I think I, along with other people, will be happy when that moment happens. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, that, like I said, that video though has gotten like 171 views, so I thank you guys for that. Let's keep it growing. And yeah, it's just, that's one of them. That's one of the videos actually that I was able to get out to you guys as best as I could. I was able to get it out to you, as best as I could and everything. I mean, when I look at my schedule here and all that, I look at the fact that, my Happy New Year 3 minute 7 second video was 4 days ago and everything, and it was the only one. It's like, yeah, it's kind of it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird to see that. And then when I look at another video I did, my Christmas 2024 haul video, most of it, which was 10 days ago, or 10 to 11 days ago, and then the one that's before, which is the Season 3 theories for Hell of a Boss based on the Season 2 finale, which was 12 to 13, it's like, you can see exactly what I'm talking about. And then before that, when I did my, I guess you could say my full and uncut, piecing together comparing the Berenstain, the differences between the Berenstain Bear, comparing the Berenstain Bears' differences between books and the cartoon, that's labeled at 2 weeks ago, about 14 days ago, 2 weeks ago. Well, like I said, the one that comes after it, the Hell of a Boss Season 3 theories, is 12 to 13, and the one after that's like 10 to 11. So you kind of see what I'm talking about when I say, I tried my best during this run to give you content, but a lot of things came up. Things that I don't mind coming up if they had to, because that's personal family time that comes before anything else. But yeah, a lot of people, like I said, that are like me, that are, in the same level as I am as a YouTuber and a content creator. Some that are bigger than us, like an AVGN and a Nostalgia Critic, Doug Walker, and all of them. Everybody understands that you gotta, that you basically got to work around the situation, that you're given. You gotta work around it and just, go from there. Just see what you can basically upload and supply for your fans or for your followers to have, and this is why when it comes to the Christmas season, the summer season, and all that before they hit, if I have time, if I'm not working, and if I have time, I will try to get out as much content to premiere during that break or during those breaks. Like during the summer in the past, I've uploaded videos, here on the channel that I set to premiere during the breaks of those summer months, so that way you guys have at least something once or twice a day to enjoy. You have something to enjoy once or twice a day, which I'm happy with. I'm actually happy with doing and everything. But it's just one of those. But again, it's just one of those situations you have to work with. You know, this is why when I used to work at Target and Walmart, before work, during lunch, and after work, if I had time, I would get on my phone here or my old phone, but I would get on a phone anyway, and I would do a live stream or I'd do a recording or I would do an audio recording, to have content ready for you guys when I got home. Like if I did an audio recording and it was, a big enough file that I could send through email, I would send it. And, in that way I would have the file at home so that when I got home and settled in, I can go on my computer here, pick an image that I need related to what I was talking about, put that together, put that video together, and then when it was finished, I would upload it to YouTube so you guys can at least have something for that day. Especially if it was during the summer or winter breaks. So, yeah, it's just, again, one of those scenarios to where you just gotta work around the environment you have. You gotta work around the environment you have and everything. So I'm just, glad to be able to, find opportunities to provide you guys with content as much as I can. But yeah, outside of that, not really much going on and everything. I told you basically in the channel update, the first one of the year, I'm going to try to get more content out to you guys, more live streams, hopefully without any issues. But if there are issues, then, God willing, to able to fix themselves and everything. But I am going to try to get more content out to you, more live streams, more fan vids if I can work on that, because I do have some, in mind for the future. And, just, more CAW league, if you will, of my own, which is DCWA. That's my CAW Career Wrestling League. Get more of that out to you guys. And, just do what I can. Just do what I can. I can, until something comes up, employment-wise. Employment-wise and everything. So, yeah. Just had somebody comment on something I shared on Facebook. But, yeah, I can't really say any more than what I have. I just want to come out here and let you guys know that things are back to normal, for the new year and for the time being, that. Just, I'm just glad to kind of finally be able to have the door open, if you will, and be able to do a live stream without any interruptions and everything. Not that I don't mind the interruptions, because, like I said, there are things that come before doing a YouTube video or a YouTube live stream. There are things that do come before that are much more important. But yeah, it's nice to have a little bit more freedom, if you will, a little bit more leeway. But as we all know, that could all change if I end up getting a job somewhere, whether it's, for a Popeye's Chicken or McDonald's, back at Target, or maybe even back at this place I was at seasonally, maybe now part-time. But we'll see. We shall see. But yeah, not really much outside of that. Not really much, outside of that and everything. But I just wanted to, like I said, come out here and, give you guys this live stream for the first Monday of 2025. Yeah, it's hard to believe. Like I said, it's going to be 18 years this year. Or not 18, but 17 years. Actually, 17 years this year since I started the channel. But yeah, it's hard to believe it's 2025 now. And there's going to be a lot of anniversaries, believe it or not, that will happen this year for movies and shows and stuff like that. So, but anyway, guys, I just wanted to, like I said, just do this little live stream and talk about, things, just get things off my chest, let you know what's been going on and all that, and see, just want to wish you guys a happy new year. Hope you all, like I said, hope you all had a nice one and everything outside of the unfortunate tragedies that occurred in both New Orleans and Vegas. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here and do this live stream on this first Monday morning of 2025, and let you guys know that as of right now, things are back to normal for the new year, and can't wait to share a lot of other things I got planned for you guys when it comes to this channel. Again, support me where you can. Support me at my podcast affiliate at my podcast at BW Russ's Discussions. Links are in the description. Support me over at rumble.com at BW Roses. I have a channel there. I have a channel over at odyssey.com as well. You can check me out there. Also check me out at DeviantArt, at DeviantArt.com at BVW1979. Check me out there. Check me out at inkbunny.net at BW Roses. And check me out at check out my Teespring store as well, and get yourself some merchandise that you can't get anywhere else. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to come on here and do this live stream, and hope you all have a safe and happy new year. I will try to do more live streams maybe today, unless something comes up. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Comment below if you didn't comment in the live stream, or in the in the live chat, I should say. Comment in in the comment section below. Give me your thoughts on what I've had to say here and everything. Let me know if you've ever had to deal with a situation like what I dealt with this morning when it came to the computer. Let me know. Love to hear your thoughts on it and how you handled it. And yeah, that's all I can really say, guys. Again, thank you for the support that you've been giving me, going on 17 years now this June. And that's really all I can say. So, till next time, God bless, take care, and until then, I am